The theme of the first night of RNC was "We Built It," basically playing on the out of context quote from President Obama when he was explaining that a lot of things go into creating stuff. Like you might be just because you would say that you're smart, but a lot of people are smart. You said that you worked hard. A lot of people work hard, but those roads and stuff like that, you didn't build that. And he said that, and people decided to go with the completely false representation that he was claiming that you didn't build your own business, as opposed to you didn't build the roads on the street that got stuff to your business. And so that has been a point of contention in the campaign for a while. But you know what? They decided to say no. They said no, not even a little bit. We're gonna lie. We're gonna cheat. We're just going to do any and everything that we can. And they misrepresented it so hard that they decided that their first night of their convention was going to be based, We Built It, where they showed videos of small business owners explaining how they all built their business and that Obama is against them and that how dare you say I didn't build this, blah 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 blah. Literally all night they played in a loop the out of context clip of Obama, and every speaker basically said, hey, we did build this.
Yeah.
We did build this.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you look the American people in the face when you're basing your entire argument on a falsity, on a half truth? How do you look at the audience and the American people and expect them to trust you? Or
if it helps any, it's only about 4 or 5 people. I would argue that a bunch of them just didn't even read the entire passage.
What do you mean?
I would argue that if a lot of people just read the sentence and then looked at somebody else's reaction and said, "Oh, this is terrible. The president is so insulting to my hard work," and then actually read the entire thing. So you could say a large percentage of them don't even know the full passage. So they're good. They're like 4 people need to look themselves in the eye in the morning. And the rest of them can just cheer and cry and say, "We built this," and hold up signs and sing songs.
Let's listen to exactly what he says. I want to just make this clear.
If you've been successful, you didn't get there on your own.
You didn't get there on your own. Now, the idea that you might have have success, but you were given help, because that's that's all he's talking about, is that you were given help at some point, right?
You didn't get there on your own. I'm always struck by people who think, well, it must be because I was just so smart. There are a lot of smart people out there. It must be because I worked harder than everybody else. Let me tell you something. There are a whole bunch of hard-working people out there.
See, I believe that. As someone of color.
It's also something we've heard in church and at home before.
Yeah.
Like, literally, as he was saying it, and in the manner in which he's saying it, I'm listening to my granddad or my grandmother say the same thing. You think you too smart? You think you're the only one smart? Know how to do, like,
right,
It's
exactly.
the same.
Exactly.
Thing.
And that's what I've heard.
Right. And we heard that. Right. And we clearly understand the context. Even other business owners, I'm a business owner, clearly understand the context he's talking about. Is that you in the society that, we're living, no matter, yes, the hard individual work, and talent that you put into creating a business and then, and building it for years to a multi-million-dollar business. Yes, there is a lot of work and ethic that you've personally put in to do this. But there's also infrastructures in place that help support that. Whether it be the loans you received, that are government backed, whether if you do construction or you do some sort of transportation, and it's the road infrastructure and the highway infrastructure that exists so that your business can exist, which is why you pay taxes. This is why you contribute, because there is the general sort of infrastructure and an economy that everybody contributes to, including the government, that helps your business succeed. Even to the fact that some of the speakers that they had last night, that I think they said they had one speaker who literally his business has a contract for the government, and so he sells goods and services to the government. Like, that is, some sort of type of exchange and support. So clearly we know that. That does not separate the fact that the context of what he's talking about does not separate. He gave them the soundbite. Barack Obama gave the soundbite, to them to be able to use against them. And it's the same thing that we use against, that's how politics is run. Mm-hmm. We use the sound bites to our advantage. We do the same thing when Mitt Romney talks about corporations or people or, whatever gaffes there are, whether it's in context or out of context, in a political sense, they're used against you in a campaign.
So is that how the conversation goes, where one person hears the soundbite and then somebody else in the office goes, well, why don't you check it for context? What was he talking about? And then that person goes, shut up, you're fired, and then they go forward with it?
No, nobody goes, shut up, you're fired. But the question of context is asked, and still it's taken and cut and says, well, we can still use it. We can still use it.
But they had a whole themed day for their convention out of context, though. Can you go that crazy with something out of context, just 6 words out of context?
Yes.
It's a theme.
But that's the
song.
Magic. That's the magic about it, is that they built it on that. Something that, especially for me, it's just so not okay. It's like, really? Yeah, I know for a fact. I was taught from a child that me working hard and being smart will not be the key. The only thing that will allow me to do something. There's a lot of smart people. It's like when they when you went to church and that girl could sing, and she's like, I'm gonna be a star. Like, yeah, a lot of people can sing. That doesn't mean that you're gonna get a contract or you're gonna actually become a star. That's not just, it's common sense. It's just one of those it's like that hard lesson that you working hard and being smart isn't the key to everything.